Agni notices a woman checking Arya out and assumes that she's ovulating. He believes that women are the horniest during ovulation and have low standards for men. He also knows about an app that can calculate an exact date, so Arya downloads it. Rima teases Arya about the maid fiasco at the Bandra Fest, and also about his need to go to the washroom. She still likes the idea of the talk show they proposed. While Mayank keeps discussing work with Rima, Agni gets distracted by other foreign gurus who claim to be better. Arya is also distracted and rushes out when he learns from the app that Shruti is ovulating that day. Shruti tries to raise the divorce topic, but gets distracted when her mom, Madhu, mentions her urinary infection. The doctors think it's because her husband, Surinder, doesn't use a condom. She asks Shruti to somehow educate him about it. Meanwhile, Arya gets excited about the possibility of getting intimate with Shruti after a year. When Shruti scolds Rohini for not studying, Arya, for the first time, takes Shruti's side. Arya also reminds Shruti about a photo of them on the wall. Shruti remembers that day, and how they snapped the photo right after getting intimate. When Shruti enters the room, Arya has decorated it with candles and tries to seduce her by discussing furniture and curtains. Shruti plays along and asks him for a favor, in a flirty tone. She mentions her mom's infection, and urges Arya to educate her dad about using a condom. Since Arya is fighting for her attention on an important ovulation day, he agrees. When Arya finds out that Surinder enjoys golf the most, he tries to indirectly discuss the infection in golf terms. When Surinder doesn't understand, he gets a carrot from the kitchen to explain. Arya finally shouts at him for not being careful with his wife when they get intimate, and embarrasses Surinder. Arya seems sure Shruti is seducing him when he gets back to the room. She soon clarifies that she's heading out to meet someone because she has found out about the ovulation app. Arya's ex-girlfriend, Pooja, is in town and wants to meet. Shruti shows Arya a bold dress she intends to wear that night. She assures him that she's trying to have a fling with a younger man. It's also Save the Planet Day, so Basu brings some children dressed as Greta Thunberg to Shruti's place to raise awareness. She invites them in for chocolates, and Basu invites her and Rohini to an event that evening. Arya meets Pooja in a car and notices how great she still looks. When he finds out that she needs funding for her startup, Arya suggests she should meet Shruti, who can connect her to some investors. He also wants to show off Pooja to prove that he used to have game before Shruti. When Shruti asks Arya to call Pooja for the party that night, Arya feels victorious till he notices that Pooja is not proportional from the waist down. Arya now wants to hide Pooja from Shruti, but is also confused about Masha flirting with him. Agni refuses to believe that Arya can do better than Shruti, and suggests that Masha might be a high-end escort. Arya tries to find out whether Masha is one by throwing cash at her during their date in a limo. They get stopped by the barricades on the road, so Arya complains about going zigzag on a wide road for no reason. He also makes fun of a senior police officer for seeking validation from his juniors since they're saluting him. Masha still has fun on the date till Arya gets disgusted by her underarm hair and spoils the mood. That evening, as everyone in the society switches off their lights for an hour for the planet, Arya switches them on. Basu assembles all the children outside the house to protest, but Arya doesn't care. At the party, Arya finds Shruti and Jwala discussing how attractive they find Jean. He's a billionaire who thinks Arya is very lucky for landing a woman like Shruti. Mayank suggests some strategies to cover Pooja's lower half, but she just turns up at the party. When the strap on Shruti's dress breaks, and Pooja is also about to enter, Arya throws his jacket at Shruti and urges everyone to turn off the lights for the planet. In the dark, he introduces Shruti and Pooja. After a successful night, Shruti feels slightly attracted to Arya again. They're about to kiss, but Shruti gets distracted by Ganesh's smell. Arya immediately scolds Ganesh, who feels bad that Arya doesn't understand the sweat and tears of hard work. Arya tries to make peace with him by offering food Shruti got from the party. When he learns that Ganesh is vegetarian, and the food is non-veg, he gives it to a beggar. Ganesh feels more offended and leaves them on the road. Even if Arya is drunk, he feels like he can drive without getting caught because of a cap he has. Arya gets stopped by the same cop he insulted earlier. He's eager to punish Arya since he's drunk as well. Instead of the usual punishment, he makes Arya stand in front of the traffic lights to salute all cars that pass by. Pooja's car passes by, and she ruins all his plans by stepping out and showing Shruti her whole body. Jean can tell that Shruti's relationship with Arya is strained and asks her to make a mistake with him. That same night, Arya books a hotel room with Masha. He still feels conscious about strangers judging him. Jean admires Shruti's beauty, while Masha steps out in her uniform to seduce Arya. The next morning, Shruti and Arya discuss whether they should inform each other about the people they're seeing. They realize that they need to, in case someone spots them with their dates and gets the wrong idea. That's when Arya suggests throwing a huge decoupling party for everyone they know to celebrate their divorce. He feels like it could assure Rohini that divorce doesn't have to be a bad thing. Shruti likes the idea, but she wants Arya to accompany her to Basu's photo exhibition that night. Arya gets frustrated while trying to park and reverses the car so he can convince Ganesh to come back as their driver. Arya only knows the name of his village and is unable to answer questions from locals about the exact address. He ends up offending the villagers by making fun of them and using swear words in frustration. Arya drives away in a hurry when he realizes that the villagers are angry. They almost bump into Ganesh on his cycle, who convinces the villagers that Arya didn't have any intention of offending them. Shruti steps out to find another ride home. After that, Ganesh makes Arya drive him to his house. He rants about how rich people don't treat drivers like humans. Arya still convinces him to take his old job back, and Shruti is somewhat proud. At Basu's exhibition, Arya feels disturbed after spotting a photo of an air hostess. He remembers last night when he was about to get intimate with Masha. He gifts her a gold chain and insists that he needs to compensate her for their intimacy. This offends her so much that she kicks him out of the room. When Arya mentions a Korean film to Shruti, she remembers last night with John. He is about to kiss her, but Shruti politely rejects him since she's not ready to have an affair. Basu explains his installation to Shruti. He has placed an avocado at the top to depict food for the rich and a banana at the bottom for the poor. For his interactive installation, he takes up the task of standing on a pedestal and acting oblivious to everyone around him to depict how the rich ignore the poor. Arya feels like having fun and invites Ganesh to the party. He asks Ganesh to eat Basu's banana to offend him, and even discuss his daughter's college admission. When Basu keeps ignoring Ganesh, he gets angry by rich people like him treating the poor badly and slaps him. While Shruti feels embarrassed again, Arya can't control his laughter. Arya gets a work call from Jasmine right after a swim. He's in the men's locker room without a towel, so the children snap photos of him. When an employee scolds them for doing so, Jasmine gets offended that he's on a call with her without clothes. All the moms of the society scold Arya for misbehaving in front of their kids, but he refuses to believe he did anything wrong. Before a video call with Rima, Arya discusses how Masha still isn't talking to him. Arya, Agni, and Mayank don't realize when Rima joins the call, since Arya's headphones are connected to the laptop. She hears Arya inviting the others to his decoupling party, and Mayank ranting about Rima not liking any of his jokes. When they finally spot Rima on video, she clarifies that the content they're sending is too inappropriate and offensive. Jwala suggests that after Shruti's decoupling party in Goa, she should get intimate with a male escort, Sandy. Shruti doesn't want to pay anyone till she takes a look at what Jwala has to offer. Arya joins them to discuss how they can properly break the news of the divorce to Rohini. When Jwala discusses that her house help is a battered woman she rescued, Arya doesn't think she should advertise it. Arya has also noticed that Jwala seems to enjoy the pain of others and has no shame in calling her a sadist. When Shruti's parents come home for dinner, Shruti allows Rohini to eat in her room for the first time. Arya assumes Surinder is terminally ill because he doesn't usually come to their place with Madhu. Surinder explains that he's changing his will to ensure that Shruti's brother gets everything. He believes that Shruti and Arya are well settled financially, so he wants to secure his son's future. Shruti refuses to let go of her inheritance and admits that she's getting divorced. Surinder and Madhu don't take them seriously because they plan to stay in the same house for Rohini even after the divorce. Surinder seems sure Shruti is only acting out because she doesn't want to lose her inheritance. Shruti asks Arya to tell Rohini about the divorce, but he's unable to. At Jwala's charity event for battered women, Arya notices all of her friends discussing people's suffering. He labels them all as sadists, but Jwala points out that he's inappropriate for walking without clothes in a locker room. The society moms and Basu also argue with Arya on this topic. He always has a comeback and starts describing how uncomfortable it is to wear a towel. Shruti shouts at him for not letting her enjoy even one night without creating a scene. Rohini blames Shruti for not understanding Arya's perspective. Arya asks Rohini to understand how tough it is for Shruti to defend a man like him. He assures Rohini that Shruti has endured a lot because of him, and it's time for them to separate. After hearing about her parents' divorce, Rohini starts rebelling. Arya and Shruti try to explain that things won't change much since they'll still live together. Rohini still isn't comfortable with their divorce, especially when she hears about the party they're planning. Shruti and Arya almost forget to take Rohini on their trip to Goa and feel guilty. While taking a selfie with fake teeth, Arya assures Rohini that traditions like this will never change. Shruti doesn't seem sure and is distracted because Jean wants to see her. When the family arrives at the hotel, the security officer doesn't react to Mayank being tied up in their trunk. Arya asks everyone not to worry, because he's playing this prank to lighten up everyone with boring jobs. Jwala has called Sandy to the hotel, and Masha's team also ends up staying in the same hotel. Arya apologizes to Masha for the disrespect earlier. He clarifies that he only behaved that way since he wasn't ready for an affair. Jwala decides to send Sandy to Shruti's room in an hour. She doesn't know that Jean is meeting Shruti in the presidential suite at the same time. When Shruti dresses up and leaves, Surinder uses her washroom since his room is too far. Sandy assumes that Madhu is Shruti and gives her a massage. When Surinder comes out and notices that Sandy is shirtless, he throws him out for flirting with his wife. In the presidential suite, a team is on video call with Jean. He couldn't fly down because of private jet issues, but asks Shruti to head his team in London. She's surprised that he wants her to uproot her entire life, but Jean knows he has given her an offer she can't refuse. Arya finally gets intimate with Masha when she invites him to her room, and they dream of a sensual life together. He informs her about a party he's throwing with Shruti without giving details. At the decoupling party, Shruti secretly decides to take Jean's offer and move to London with Rohini. When Arya notices Surinder being rude to the staff, he asks the waitress to irritate him by interrupting when he's in a deep conversation. Arya discusses the moment he fell in love with Shruti and remembers only the good times. Ganesh claims to know the most about what went wrong with their marriage. He remembers the initial times when they couldn't get their hands off each other in the car. A few years later, they went from chatting to fighting all the time. After a point, there was only silence. They perform the decoupling ceremony by flinging their rings, and Agni notices how upset Rohini seems. Agni admits that he was married once, and asks Rohini to watch her parents from afar to understand their point of view. When Rohini looks at them, they seem happy. Mayank records Shruti and Arya's reactions to their official separation. Arya gets a video call from Chetan, who is in London for work. Chetan has mutual friends with Shruti, and shocks Arya by informing him that she's moving to London.